In 2024, Josh Allen proved that he was the most valuable player to his team. He took a roster that many people thought wasn't good enough to be serious contenders all the way to the AFC Championship. He put up some insane numbers, tremendously reduced those turnovers that have always held him back, and he carried his team like no one else in the league.
In the pocket, Allen will run it himself. He pumps, got some daylight, hurdles to the end zone. Touchdown, Buffalo! Pitched it back to Allen, who's going to go to the goal line and get in! No! Spectacular touchdown!
Josh Allen's efforts didn't go unnoticed though, as he was named the MVP of the 2024 NFL season, beating out the runner-up Lamar Jackson by a margin of just 5 votes. But to say that this decision was controversial would be an understatement.
Had Lamar Jackson never won an MVP, who would have won it yesterday?
I think Lamar Jackson.
I'm with you.
I agree.
Josh Allen wins the MVP. Who? Josh Allen won the MVP.
If you look at Lamar Jackson's year this year, it is insane. He was the best player in our game this year.
But Jeff,
that's not taken away from Josh Allen.
No,
it's just reality.
And Josh winning MVP.
A lot of people believe Josh Allen wasn't truly deserving of the MVP. So, can one game in week 1 of the following season really put an end to that narrative? But to truly understand why this Ravens vs. Bills game was so significant, let's go back a year ago to the 2024 offseason.
Major breaking news coming out of the NFL where we have a blockbuster trade. The Buffalo Bills are sending star wide receiver Stefon Diggs to the Houston Texans, has been confirmed by our insider John.
Stefon Diggs leaving the Bills was a trade heard around the NFL world. Without a certified wide receiver 1, many had already written the Bills off. They weren't loaded with star power like other rosters, and with what many perceived to be insufficient talent around him, no one thought Josh Allen was going to lead this team to anything significant this year. Well, at least until he did.
Able to get out of the end zone and fire. He's got his man. Good protection. End zone. Touchdown. Chased. Hit. The call. Touchdown. Going down the field. Oh, look at the catch. The catch by Cooper. Gonna run for it. He got it. And there he goes. Inside the 10, the 5. Oh, the play of the year in the NFL.
And look at the year that Josh Allen has had. He is an absolute stud.
When you have a unprecedented, historically offense, and you don't have a Hall of Fame wide receiver for you, that literally is the definition of MVP.
In 2024, Josh Allen threw for over 3,700 passing yards, ran for 500 more, had 40 total touchdowns, and just 6 turnovers. Josh Allen had by far his most efficient season ever. As a team, the Bills ended the season 13-4 and had a historically great offense. Josh Allen was paramount to the Bills' success in 2024. Without him, they'd never be anywhere near this level. It should be no surprise that he was a frontrunner to win the MVP along with Lamar Jackson. Don't get it twisted, Lamar Jackson was extraordinary as well. He was literally putting up video game-like numbers. Over 4,100 passing yards, 900 rushing yards, 41 passing touchdowns, 4 rushing touchdowns, and just 8 total turnovers. Lamar Jackson was electrifying in 2024. You could say Josh Allen was the MVP, and you wouldn't be wrong. You could also say Lamar Jackson was the MVP, and you still wouldn't be wrong. Truthfully, both these quarterbacks were in a league of their own. They were so good that people even suggested giving them both the MVP award. It was that close. But ultimately what it came down to was, what exactly is an MVP? Because as you may know, it has a different definition every single year. Sometimes it is the most valuable player award. Other times, it's more of the best statistical player award. And let's be honest, that was Lamar Jackson. He put up the better numbers, but he was also on an elite roster filled with stars. I mean, Lamar had Derrick Henry as his running back. I think that says enough about how good the Ravens roster was. But if we're talking about who was the most valuable player to their team, the player who still put up incredible numbers despite being surrounded by significantly less talent, and who still led their team to a lot of success, well, that was Josh Allen. And ultimately, he was named the MVP. But there were many people that believed he didn't truly earn it. It was voter fatigue. Lamar should have won it.
And the AP Most Valuable Player presented by Invisalign is Josh Allen.
Okay.
They wanted to give Josh something. They wanted to give him something.
Man, this ain't no handout. We don't do no handouts here.
You say they don't do no handouts in the NFL, but they just handed him MVP.
If you are in a position where you have quote-unquote voter fatigue, well, damn it, then give your vote away to somebody who's less tired.
Obviously, Josh Allen had an MVP caliber season, but the best damn dude in the league this year was the guy who was first team All-Pro.
The Bills, following an AFC Championship loss in 2024, entered the 2025 offseason with one goal in mind: getting better. And on paper they did, particularly on defense. The offense, however, saw minimal change. They didn't bring in a star receiver or weapon in the offseason because, quite frankly, they didn't need to. Just because this offense didn't have recognizable names or a standout wide receiver one doesn't mean they weren't good. There's a reason the front office decided to keep the unit almost exactly the same, and that's because of their chemistry and how well they work together. And with Josh Allen at the helm, well, there's no doubt the offense will always be elite. And what better way to prove that than by facing off against a team of the player many consider to be the real MVP in Week 1. Despite this game taking place at the Bills' home stadium, the Ravens entered the game as favorites, and it made sense why. Their roster was maybe the most complete roster in the entire NFL. And the Ravens began the game proving exactly why they were so highly touted. Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry were dismantling and overwhelming the Bills' defense, scoring points on all their drives in the first 2 quarters. However, down 20-10, with 30 seconds left in the first half and with no timeouts remaining, Josh Allen miraculously drove the Bills 52 yards down the field, and with literally 1 second remaining in the half, he put his team in position to kick a field goal. 3 points that didn't look significant at the time, but would prove to be game-changing. The second half wasn't looking much better for the Bills. Baltimore was still overwhelming Buffalo's defense. They had no answer. The Ravens kept putting up points on the board. Josh Allen attempted to do the same, leading the Bills to scoring touchdowns halfway through the 3rd quarter and in the beginning of the 4th. However, 2 failed 2-point conversions greatly diminished their chances of staying in this game. Halfway through the 4th quarter, this game was essentially over as the Bills were down 40-25, a 15-point deficit with just 4 minutes remaining. The Ravens' victory was 99.1% secured. Bills fans were leaving the stadium in bulk because there was no way the Bills were winning this game. Josh Allen and the Bills' offense were hanging on by a thread. That thread being a 4th down and 3rd. But with the whole nation watching and with the game on the line, Josh Allen, with a bit of luck, found a spark.
Pursuing and Allen throws, deflected and caught by Coleman on the tip for 6. And the Bills remain alive.
The Ravens got the ball back, but then came the real turning point.
Under center, gonna hand it off to Henry, and he's bottled up. The ball is out. It's loose. Who's got the football? It's Buffalo ball. Here's the snap, and Allen reaches over the goal line, and he is in. And he punched it in for the 1-yard touchdown run.
The Bills' defense completely stepped up and neutralized the Ravens' offense. They couldn't do anything. With 1:30 left on the clock, the Bills got the ball back, and, well, by that point, the game was already in Josh Allen's hands, and he never looked back. A 44-yard drive for the game-winning kick? Not a problem for the reigning MVP.
3 seconds, here's the snap, hold is down, kick on the way, and it is good! The Bills were down by 15. In the 4th quarter, they come all the way back to win the game at the gun.
41-40 was the final score. Instead of being overwhelmed by the seemingly insurmountable obstacle that was the Ravens, instead of waving the white flag and giving up, Josh Allen led the Bills towards doing the impossible. No team had ever won a game in regulation down 15 points with 4 minutes left. Well, at least until now. But this game wasn't just a comeback, it was a statement. This game proved that Josh Allen's MVP wasn't about voter fatigue or narratives, it was about reality.
What more can you say about this guy other than the fact that he is the MVP of last year and what we just saw last night.
Josh Allen say, you do not, you're in my house. And this is why that MVP trophy is sitting on my mantle.
Lamar Jackson played an exceptional game. It wasn't Josh Allen's game. He didn't play like Josh Allen played. It was a different.
This victory solidified Josh Allen's 2024 MVP, and it also propelled him towards being the frontrunner for the MVP this year. But accolades aside, this victory showed us something even more important. In a game where everything seemed lost, where fans were leaving early, disappointed, where analysts were already preparing their Bills collapse takes, Josh Allen showed us that as long as he's in the game, hope will never die. He willed his team back into a losing battle and came out victorious. He erased a 99% loss probability and turned it into one of the most improbable comebacks in NFL history. If this game was any sign of what's to come, well, this 2025 season might just be the year they break through.